Hurricane Kiko intensifying in the eastern Pacific on tonight's tropical weather bulletin. Tropical weather bulletin for September 3rd. On the map of world tropics, Hurricane Kiko is a low-end Category 2 currently, and Tropical Storm Lorena is also intensifying and expected to peak as a hurricane fairly soon. Current global threat stands at a 4 from Tropical Storm Lorena. In the Atlantic, we have marked an area of interest southwest of the Cape Verde Islands with a 70% chance of formation, and GFS models are forecasting a strong hurricane out of this one. In the eastern Pacific, Hurricane Kiko is intensifying and expected to peak as a major hurricane soon. Tropical Storm Lorena is currently off the coast of Mexico and is threatening them with a landfall this weekend. In the western Pacific, Invest 95W has a 70% chance of forming and could strike Japan later this week. Here's the forecast for Hurricane Kiko. We have it peaking as a mid-range Category 3 in about 24 hours with winds of 120 miles per hour. Afterwards, wind shear and decreasing sea surface temperatures will cause it to weaken. Here's the forecast for Tropical Storm Lorena. We have it becoming a hurricane in 24 hours and peaking in 36 hours with winds of 85 miles per hour. We are expecting 2 landfalls at tropical storm strength right around 3 and 4 days out. On this day, only 2 years ago, Typhoon Haikui was making landfall in Taiwan as a Category 3. It would end up striking China, causing significant damage and killing 16 people. In the Atlantic, Gert was peaking as a moderate tropical storm, and Katia was on its way out. In the Atlantic, we could be seeing Gabrielle soon. Following that is Humberto. In the eastern Pacific, the next name is Maria, followed by Narda, and in the central Pacific, the next name is Lala, followed by Moki. In the western Pacific, the next name is Pepa, followed by Tapa. In the North Indian Ocean, the next name is Shakti, followed by Manta. In the Southwest Indian Ocean, the next name is Blossom, followed by Chingay. In the South Pacific, the next name is Irma, followed by Vayani. In the Australian region, the next name is Fina, followed by Grand, Indonesian department. Bukang, followed by Simpaka. And in the South Atlantic, the next name is Kyoba, followed by India.
Here's the GFS for the Atlantic. You can see this area of interest we have marked off the southwestern side of the Cape Verde Islands. And this is what we were talking about. See, that is 946 millibars. It's a borderline Category 4 hurricane right there. And that's a completely different track than earlier than what they were forecasting. Earlier they were forecasting this recurve right here, basically right along this like green line you see. But now they have it going up towards Massachusetts, just stalling off the northeastern coast and eventually moving up into Canada. And no doubt it's extratropical by that point. The eastern Pacific, there's Kiko, there's Lorena. Lorena there gets up to about 981 millibars. It's pretty normal for an 85-mile-an-hour hurricane. And then you had 2 landfalls in Baja. Almost makes it to Arizona as a tropical storm there, but it moves up and just becomes a rainstorm across the central United States. Now why am I clicking off this? Here, there's Kiko. They don't really have any strengthening from now. They have weakening. They have it peaking in the central Pacific. I don't know about that. 978 millibars at peak. It's about that strength right now. I think it's actually a little lower than that right now. But ends up north of Hawaii there. Doesn't really affect Hawaii. Western Pacific, here's that 70% area of interest we have marked. That is a tropical storm, a small tropical storm at that. That's a very small tropical storm by the time it gets up towards Japan. 992 millibars, probably about 50 or 60 miles per hour at that landfall. That second storm here at the South China Sea, this moves up, strikes China about the same intensity. And yeah, the Western Pacific is pretty dead compared to what it's been like over the past few weeks. That might be a little hint of a tropical storm there off the northern coast of Japan. Those are exceedingly rare to have storms form up there. This is a new storm right here. This is new in the new forecast. That is a tropical storm. Also 992 millibars, so 3 storms in a row with 992 millibar landfalls. And this one curves south, so it might miss China. Let's just check the Indian Ocean, because they like to throw random things up in September. That might be a little hint of something trying to form right there, something trying to get a circulation going. It's got I think that does become a tropical storm there. Yeah, no doubt. That gets sub 1,000 millibars. Then another thing looks like it's trying to form in the Australian region. That's the Indonesian department. And that one doesn't really do anything. But this one over here looks probably at least a tropical depression, I'd say. So yeah, storms in the southwest Indian Ocean in September. Not very common. And this looks like a little hint of something maybe trying to form in the Bay of Bengal. It looks like that probably does not succeed. Here's the satellite imagery. Here's Hurricane Kiko. That first satellite frame there, that looks really good. And then the storm's eye just completely collapsed, all within about an hour. The storm still does have a solid appearance. Its eye is starting to poke out again, but it's debatable to say if that's even the eye, more is just the entire northern side of the storm. But that eye was looking fairly decent earlier today, than those high cloud tops. I'm assuming that was probably an eye wall replacement cycle. Looks like those just came in and just completely covered the eye. See, massive cloud top gain right there from like high minus 60s all the way up into the minus 80s only in about 10 minutes. As exceedingly rare to see cloud tops rise that much in that short amount of time. Only 10 minutes for them to rise about just over 10 degrees. That is very rare. And then those just wrapped around the entire, not the entire center of the storm, but about the entire southeastern side of it. And it still does have those cloud tops on the southeastern side, but the storm is not looking as good as it was. I don't think it's weakening. I think it's probably about the same strength, but yeah. Here's Lorena. The NHC's latest advisory came out recently. They have upped it to 60 miles per hour, which we've also done. But again, you can see big burst of convection there near the center. Again, huge. That's not what I'm meant to look. Huge cloud top gain right there. That's talking minus 65-ish, jumping all the way up to minus 80 right there. That's probably a higher cloud top gain than Kiko. Once again, very rare to see that high in that short amount of time. But it is blowing up massive amounts of convection near its center, which is usually a sign that a storm is about to or is rapidly intensifying. And if Lorena rapidly intensifies, then we probably won't be looking at Category 1. We're going to be looking at least a Category 2 hurricane, if not stronger. But, yeah, so Lorena, I highly doubt it's rapidly intensifying, I'll say that. But overall, the storm structure does look good. Kiko looks good. Kiko is significantly stronger than Lorena. And like I said, we were forecasting a major hurricane peak on this. So, yeah, I guess if you're in Mexico, stay safe from Lorena, because if this storm actually is rapidly intensifying, then this storm is going to be stronger than what the forecast is saying, because it still has about another 12 to 18 hours, probably more, of high sea surface temperatures ahead of it. So if it's rapidly intensifying at this point, by this time tomorrow, we're looking at least 95 miles an hour. That would round to 100, so that's at least a Category 2 hurricane by this time tomorrow. And the official forecast right now, 24 hours from now, is just reaching hurricane strength. And if it's rapidly intensifying, it could be getting up to Category 2 at that time, if not higher. So if you're in Mexico, stay safe from Lorena. But that's it for tonight's Tropical Weather Bulletin. Like, subscribe, and goodbye.